The 17-year-old started a YouTube page back in October where she gives people a look at her life. In the latest vlog, she does a Q&A where she didn't hold back on which Netflix star is the object of her affection.
This comes as Kai's popularity surges on social media.
At just 17 years old, Kai has already become a social media sensation by capturing the attention of thousands with her lifestyle, her family connections, and her growing influence.
Well, for Kai, the 17-year-old daughter of Donald Jr. and ex-Vanessa Hayden, the president-elect's not just good at sneaking treats.
From private jet flights to the most luxurious vacations, Kai's life is nothing short of extraordinary. She's the teenager who's living life in the spotlight with million-dollar rides and picture-perfect vacations. But what does life really look like for someone born into a family of wealth, power, and influence? And what will Kai's life look like now that her grandfather has been re-elected? Join us as we reveal what happens behind the scenes of Kai Trump's lavish lifestyle. Kai Trump's luxurious lifestyle. It doesn't come as a surprise to anyone that Kai Madison Trump, the eldest grandchild of Donald Trump, lives a life most teenagers could only dream of. Born into a family of wealth, status, and power, Kai has been in the spotlight from an early age. While many people know her grandfather as a former president and a billionaire businessman, Kai has begun to carve out her own path in the public eye. But Kai is not just Donald Trump's granddaughter. She is also an individual who is gaining attention for her achievements, her lifestyle, and her growing presence on social media. From exclusive trips to extravagant gifts, her life is filled with luxury and comfort that few teenagers ever experience. Recently, Kai made headlines when she officially committed to playing golf at the University of Miami. Golf is often associated with wealthy individuals, luxury clubs, and exclusivity, and Kai's involvement in the sport aligns with her family's status. Apart from her growing success in golf, Kai recently gave her fans an inside look into her teenage life through a video she posted. The video, titled "A Regular Day in the Life of Kai Trump," shows her preparing for her homecoming dance. While the video itself offers a glimpse into some relatable teenage experiences,
Donald Trump now inspiring his granddaughter Kai's dance moves.
It is clear that Kai's day-to-day life is far from ordinary. The video does not show everything, though. What it leaves out is something really surprising. Her mode of transportation for homecoming was a Tesla Cybertruck. Seeing a teenager roll up to a school dance in such a high-end, futuristic vehicle is not something most people would ever witness. The Cybertruck is not just any car. It is a luxury item with a starting price of over $82,000, according to Car and Driver. This makes it unattainable for most teenagers, or even adults for that matter. The car's rarity only adds to its exclusivity, since there are limited numbers available on the market. While Kai did not confirm if the Cybertruck was her own, her post on Instagram showed her sitting proudly in the driver's seat and laughing with her friends as she drove them around. Many people speculate that her grandfather's close friendship with Elon Musk may have played a role in Kai's experience with the Cybertruck. Elon Musk is the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, and his connection to the Trump family is well known. Although there is no confirmation that Donald Trump had a hand in securing the Cybertruck for Kai, their relationship likely made the vehicle's appearance at homecoming much less surprising. This is not the only time Kai has enjoyed the perks of her family's connections. She and her family were given front-row seats to witness a SpaceX Starship launch at the SpaceX Starbase in Texas.
I want to do that so bad.
The trip to the SpaceX launch was nothing short of extraordinary. Kai and her family traveled to the event on Trump Force One, Donald Trump's private jet. While most people would never get the opportunity to watch a rocket launch up close, Kai was not only there but also treated to a catered lunch at the SpaceX facility. She even got some personal insights into Elon Musk's life during her visit. That's not all. Apart from cars and SpaceX trips, Kai's social media posts provide a closer look at how she spends her time and enjoys the luxuries of her life. In 2019, for example, she shared photos of herself taking scuba diving lessons in West Palm Beach, Florida, alongside her father, Donald Trump Jr. The photo shows that even her hobbies are unique and lavish. Scuba diving lessons, especially in exclusive locations like West Palm Beach, are not something the average teenager gets to experience. It is another reminder that Kai's upbringing is unlike any other. When she is not soaking up the sun in Florida, Kai and her family are often seen hitting the slopes in Aspen, Colorado. Aspen is one of the most famous and expensive ski destinations in the United States, known for attracting celebrities, billionaires, and the ultra-wealthy. Judging by her father's birthday post for her, the family has been skiing in Aspen for many years. For Kai, vacations are not simple trips to the beach or family road trips. Instead, they are carefully planned experiences in exclusive, beautiful locations that are designed for people who live a life of luxury. Kai's taste for luxury does not stop at vacations or cars. Kai's other indulges immediate family's influence on her lifestyle. Her love for fashion has also been on full display, particularly during major family events. One example of this came during this year's election night when Donald Trump won his second term as president.
You could do one big family shot.
Everyone good with flash?
That's Dark MAGA does that.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. One more.
Kai posted a YouTube vlog documenting her preparations for the big night. The video showed her getting her hair and makeup done professionally, which is far from what most teenagers do before an event. While she struggled to pick out a dress at first, Kai ultimately chose a simple yet dazzling black tank dress from Nordstrom. Although the dress itself was modestly priced at around $60, the rest of her outfit showed her expensive taste. Kai wore a pair of Badgley Mishka heels, a brand known for its luxury designs, which appear to be one of her favorites. But the most impressive part of her ensemble was her Rolex watch. The watch, valued at around $7,000, is a clear symbol of the kind of wealth and privilege Kai has grown up with. Interestingly, it seems to be the same Rolex she wore during her speech at the Republican National Convention. Her ability to blend affordable items with luxury accessories shows that while she enjoys the finer things in life, she also has a sense of style that resonates with her audience. It's really obvious why Kai can sustain this luxurious lifestyle, but how does her immediate family influence it exactly? Let's find out. Kai lives a life influenced by the privilege of her immediate family. From the moment she was born, Kai was surrounded by wealth, status, and opportunities that most people could only dream of. Her family's name alone carries enormous weight, opening doors to luxurious experiences and exclusive events. At the heart of Kai's life are her parents, Donald Trump Jr. and Vanessa Trump.
The day after news broke that the president's oldest son, Don Jr., is getting a divorce, many are wondering what caused the split.
Who have played a major role in giving her access to such a comfortable and glamorous lifestyle. Her father, Donald Trump Jr., is one of the most well-known members of the Trump family. As the eldest son of Donald Trump, he has been in the public eye for most of his life and is deeply involved in the family business, the Trump Organization. His success as a businessman has allowed him to provide a lavish life for his children, including Kai. Whether it's vacations, sports, or hobbies, Donald Trump Jr. has ensured that Kai and her siblings experience the very best. Donald Trump Jr. has also introduced Kai to other unique and expensive hobbies, like scuba diving. While Kai's father plays a major role in her lifestyle, her mother, Vanessa Trump, also has a huge influence on her upbringing. Vanessa, who was married to Donald Trump Jr. for over a decade, comes from a background of beauty and success. She is a former model and actress, which means Kai grew up with a mother who understood fashion, style, and how to carry herself in high society settings. Vanessa's presence in Kai's life has likely helped shape her love for fashion and her sense of style, which can be seen in her public appearances and social media posts. Of course, Kai's lifestyle would not be what it is without the influence of her grandfather, Donald Trump. As a billionaire businessman and former president of the United States, Donald Trump's success has created a foundation of wealth and status for his entire family. Kai, as his eldest grandchild, has benefited enormously from this. Her grandfather's name alone gives her access to opportunities and experiences that are out of reach for most people. With Donald Trump returning to the White House, Kai's life is set to become even more glamorous. Keep watching to see how this could happen. Future possibilities for Kai after Donald's win. Kai Madison Trump is likely to have many new opportunities and experiences after her grandfather's return to the White House.
Former President Donald Trump's return to the White House upends the many criminal investigations and convictions he's faced over the last 4 years.
With Donald Trump winning this year's election and becoming president once again, Kai's life could become even more glamorous and public than it already is. Having spent much of her childhood in a family known for power, wealth, and influence, Kai is already familiar with being in the spotlight. Now, with her grandfather back as president, her future possibilities seem even bigger and more exciting. During Donald Trump's first term as president, Kai was often seen visiting the White House. Photos of her sitting in the Oval Office and riding Marine One showed that she was already comfortable being in places most people only see in movies. With her grandfather returning to power, there is a strong chance that Kai will once again spend time in the White House. Whether she is touring the halls, attending official events, or joining her family for celebrations, Kai's presence will likely be noticed. She may share more photos or videos of these experiences, which would keep her in the public eye and remind everyone of her connection to one of the most powerful figures in the world. Kai's future could also include a role in politics. She has already shown that she is comfortable speaking in front of large audiences when she gave a speech at the Republican National Convention. For most teenagers, standing on such a big stage would be overwhelming, but Kai handled it with confidence and poise. This experience could be the start of something bigger for her. With her family's strong political influence, Kai might choose to follow in her grandfather's and father's footsteps by getting more involved in politics. She could attend more events, give more speeches, or even consider a political career in the future. Another possibility for Kai is continuing to grow her presence on social media. She already has a following on platforms like Instagram and YouTube, where she shares glimpses of her life. Whether she is posting about school dances, family vacations, or special events, people are interested in what Kai is doing. With her grandfather returning to the White House, her social media presence could grow even more. She might choose to share behind-the-scenes looks at the White House, political events, or luxurious family gatherings. This would allow her to build a larger audience and possibly turn her social media into something even bigger, like a career. Kai's future may also involve more unique and exclusive opportunities that come from being part of the Trump family. Her grandfather's connections and influence mean that doors will continue to open for her. Whether it's attending high-profile events, meeting influential people, or receiving luxurious gifts, Kai's life will likely remain full of extraordinary experiences. These opportunities could help her pursue any path she chooses, whether it's sports, fashion, business, or politics. No matter what she decides to do, one thing is clear. Kai's life will continue to be shaped by the wealth, power, and connections of her family. Prince William's made an unexpected decision to talk about none other than Queen Camilla. What did Prince William's reveal, and what damage has this revelation caused to the future of Queen Camilla and the royal family at large? Join us as we delve into details of Prince William's statement and its possible repercussions. But before we dive into details, let's look into a bit of Camilla, shall we? Early years of Queen Camilla. Camilla Rosemary Shand was born on July 17, 1947, at King's College Hospital in London. Her family lived between their 18th-century house, The Lanes, in Plumpton, East Sussex, at a London home in South Kensington. And although Camilla's family was not entirely related to the royal families, they lived quite comfortably and were living as upper middle class. This might be as a result of her mother's grandmother, Alex Capel, who was one of the mistresses to King Edward VII. Her parents were Major Bruce Shand, a former British Army officer who turned into a businessman, and her mother, the Honorable Rosaline Cubitt, the daughter of Roland Cubitt. Camilla had two siblings, a younger sister named Annabelle, and a younger brother named Mark Shand. As a child, Camilla enjoyed reading. This was all thanks to her father's influence. It was said that Camilla was an avid reader and was always seeking to learn different things every day. When she finished school in Switzerland, Camilla wasn't still satisfied. Her immense love for the French language pushed her to travel to Paris so she could be fluent in it. Over 6 months, Camila was devoted to fulfilling her dreams of being fluent in French. It took her 6 months to complete her tuition at the University of London Institute in Paris. Then, in 1965, she was a debutante in London, where she finally moved to and worked as a secretary. Well, Camila wasn't exactly the type that was diligent in her workplace, having been fired in her workplace for coming late after spending the night before partying. In the coming years, this is where Camila first met her soon-to-be fiancé and husband. Stay with us, as we reveal more. Now, you might be thinking if it was Prince Charles that it was Camila's first lover and husband. Well, the answer is both yes and no. You see, Camila Shand and Prince Charles first crossed paths in the 1970s at a polo match. It just wasn't by chance the two crossed paths. But you see, when fate is set to take place in intertwining soulmates together, it can go as far as aligning childhood preference to make sure one way or the other these two meets. You see, as a child, Camila was fond of animals. She had pets like cats and dogs, but she also had a soft spot for horses and was always riding them. She was an expert whenever she rode after getting to some certain age.
Blue. I'll wield my bullwhip at you in a minute.
Her family, as we said earlier, were living quite comfortably in comparison to most average families in the United Kingdom. Fortunately, Prince Charles had a thing for horses too, and soon it became a habit for these two. I hope you get the picture. Let us continue. Although it was a coincidence these two met, it was still fated. If not, how was it going to be possible two people who don't have a thing for horses would meet at a polo match? At the time they met, Camila was 23, just a year older than Prince Charles. When she saw Prince Charles, she immediately approached him with a bold opening line, referencing the relationship between Prince Charles's great-grandfather and her mother's grandmother. Her words exactly were, "My great-grandmother was the mistress of your great-great-grandfather, so how about it?"
Well, she wasn't a rebel, she wasn't a wimp either. And when, as she saw it, she felt.
Camila's sheer attitude and confidence was an eye-opener for Charles, he said. It was allegedly love at first sight, and the couple began a relationship that he has described as blissful, peaceful, and mutually happy. Their connection was instant, as they bonded quickly, and with time they started to note they both surprisingly shared the same interest in a lot of things.
So many people believe that the man who will be our king was a horrible man who was always obsessed by this woman.
As good as their love story was starting to look, life had other plans to it, and their timing was a bit earlier than how fate had planned. This was because Prince Charles was about to go on a naval career, and Charles' royal family didn't quite see Camila as an ideal partner for Charles. But why? Prince Charles's family didn't see Camila as a suitable match to the heir of the throne, and this wasn't due to things like looks, her personality, or any of that. Their reasons revolved around Camila's lack of aristocratic background.
And that in 1975, the Queen, who didn't want to blame her son for being in an adulterous relationship, said that she would never have Camilla Parker Bowles in the same room as her ever again.
However, many of those around Charles wanted the prince to wed someone with the highest aristocratic pedigrees. Another reason was because of Camila's romantic history. Charles's family went as far back to her past relationship as yet another reason why they couldn't be together, saying she was too experienced, and because her past relationships were public, it was difficult for Camila to pretend as though she was pure and fit to be brought in as a wife to Charles. So, what did Charles and Camila do?
I understood from Her Majesty the Queen, she said she should be Queen Consort. Now suddenly, she's now going to be Queen.
Seeing that their relationship wasn't fruitful, Charles had to leave on naval duties. This forced Camila to move on, and soon a new suitor came in of the name Andre Parker Bowles, who was then a guard officer. The two soon got married, and their marriage was seen as appropriate within their social circle and status. When Prince Charles heard about the marriage between Camila and Andrew, he felt betrayed and was deeply affected by it. Reports even say that the pair's wedding announcement was done without their consent. The parents of both Andrew and Camila had sent out the announcement to the Times newspaper, which then forced Andrew to immediately propose to Camila. Their marriage took place on the 4th of July, 1973, in a Roman Catholic ceremony at the Guards Chapel, Wellington Barracks, in London. The wedding was a grand one, and even considered Society Wedding of the Year. It had an attendance of over 800 guests, and was remembered by all. On the other hand, Charles was still affected by this marriage, but still, he kept tabs on Camilla, and still maintained their friendship with both Camilla and Andrew. At one point, he even became a godfather to a child of theirs, Tom. It seems bizarre that Charles and Camilla were still in close contact even after she got married, and we agree it was. It even caused some sort of rumors to spread among the public, as most of them guessed that Camilla was still secretly in a relationship with Charles after her marriage. However, that wasn't the case. To us, Camilla had moved on from the fact that Charles and she were no longer a couple and focused her attention on building a family with Andrew. The pair went on and had 2 children, Tom and Laura. Seeing this, Charles was under immense pressure to find a suitable bride. He was often reminded by his peers and family on the note to settle down as soon as possible and just move on from what had happened between him and Camilla. For years, her identity and existence have been kept under wraps. Now, the Duke of Cambridge has shared the reason behind his sister's secrecy. The royal family has always been a little complicated, dealing with family drama and relationships, trying to keep their personal lives private while being public figures, following old traditions while trying to be modern, and dealing with media scrutiny and public opinion. What led the royal family's decision to keep the girl a secret? Join us in this video as we shed light on this mystery. Shocking details concerning the secret sister of Prince William. For years, the British royal family has been under intense media scrutiny, with every personal detail exposed for the public to see. Yet one person has remained mysteriously out of sight, and only a few insiders knew about her existence. While the princes were raised in the public eye, their sister's existence has been kept almost entirely private. Following the mystery of Diana's death, Camila coming into the picture and exposing interviews, the truth is beginning to unfold. With the public unrelenting interest about the activities of the royal family, there are still certain things not disclosed and many hidden secrets involved. This revelation has sparked curiosity. Why was her name rarely mentioned in royal discussions? What led to this deliberate secrecy surrounding her identity? Keep watching to find out. In order to get everything straight, let's delve into how everything actually happened. King Charles III entered a life destined to be extraordinary. Charles became the direct heir to the British throne, a title that defined his every move, every decision, and every relationship in the years to come. Charles's upbringing was anything but typical. From an early age, he was groomed to take on the weight of monarchy, facing immense pressure to embody the ideals of the crown. He was the first heir with a degree. His education was kind of strict.
Prince Charles joined Gordonstoun on the 1st of May 1962, and all of his teenage school years were spent here before he then went on to study at Cambridge.
Pushing him and also enabling him to develop the resilience needed for his future role. Despite his stoic royal image, Charles was known to possess a sensitive soul. He had a deep appreciation for the arts, a love for nature, and a curiosity for spiritual and philosophical matters. But beyond the formalities and expectations of his royal title, he was also a young man growing through the complexities of life and love as well. And that's where Diana Spencer and Camilla Shand come in. Lady Diana Frances Spencer was born into British nobility. Her family, the Spencers, had a long-standing connection to the royal family, given their history. While her background was full of privilege, Diana's early life was not without challenges, a perfect fit for the saying, "Wealth doesn't shield you from woes." Her parents' divorce when she was just 7 years old cast a shadow over her childhood, leaving emotional scars that surface in later years. From a young age, Diana was known for her compassionate nature. She had a natural affinity for children, working as a nursery assistant and later as a kindergarten teacher's aide. Despite her aristocratic roots, she maintained this down-to-earth demeanor, a quality that made her adorable to the public once she became a royal figure. But before Diana was thrust into the global spotlight, She was an ordinary young woman trying to find her place in the world. It was during this period that her path crossed with that of Prince Charles, leading to one of the most famous royal romances in history, or at least, that's how it seemed on the surface. Their first meeting was not this love-at-first-sight moment that fairy tales often depict. In fact, Charles initially met Diana when she was just 18 years old, and he was dating her older sister, Lady Sarah Spencer. At the time, Diana was merely a shy teenager in the background, unnoticed by Charles. It wasn't until 3 years later that sparks began to fly, or so the media reported. By the time Diana re-entered Charles's life, she had matured into a graceful young woman, captivating the attention of Britain and the world.
On February 24, 1981, the palace announced the engagement of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer.
At 3 o'clock, Prince Charles and Lady Diana appeared for the first time in public, and this was the first chance to see the ring of sapphires and diamonds.
She was sweet, naive, and seemingly perfect for the role of a princess. Charles, pressured by the public and his family to find a suitable wife, began courting Diana. She fit the bill in every way. She was aristocratic, young, and untainted by scandal. In all, she carried an aura of innocence and vulnerability, which made her all the more appealing. In February 1981, Charles proposed to Diana in the privacy of Buckingham Palace. The world was soon to witness a grand spectacle, the wedding of the century. On July 29, 1981, in a lavish ceremony at St. Paul's Cathedral, Lady Diana Spencer became Diana, Princess of Wales. The wedding was watched by millions of people worldwide. From the outside, it looked all perfect, full of flowers and everything. But starting from the interview, when King Charles and Diana were asked about their engagement, Diana quickly affirmed they were actually in love, but Charles responded what every love was. He felt like it was more of a royal command. Even before Diana entered the picture, there was another woman in Charles's life, which was Camilla Shand. Camilla and Charles first met in the early 1970s, and the two quickly developed a close relationship. Their romance was complicated from the outset. Despite their deep emotional connection, Charles and Camilla's relationship did not progress into marriage. Charles and Camilla's relationship was put to the test when Charles joined the Navy. The distance and time apart took a toll on their romance, and Camilla eventually moved on. Camilla eventually married Andrew Parker Bowles, seemingly moving on from Charles. Even after Diana and Charles's respective marriages, the bond between Charles and Camilla never truly faded. After their marriage, Diana found a bracelet with the Charles and Camilla initials engraved on it, a gift from Charles to his mistress. As the reality of her husband's infidelity sank in, Diana felt herself becoming more and more disconnected from him.
Do you think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor in the breakdown of your marriage?
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
She was horrified and heartbroken, and the discovery was the beginning of the end of their relationship. By the early 1980s, as Charles and Diana's marriage faltered, Charles found solace in Camilla. Their relationship evolved into a full-blown affair, which became one of the worst-kept secrets within royal circles. For Diana, discovering the truth about Charles and Camilla was devastating. She once famously said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." The public, however, was largely unaware of the full extent of the affair at the time. Diana continued to put on a brave face, carrying out her royal duties with grace and charm. Yet the cracks in her marriage with Charles were becoming increasingly visible. Camilla, though rarely in the public eye, remained a looming presence in their relationship. As the years went on, the tension between Diana, Charles, and Camilla only deepened, and the public became more aware. From the moment she married into the British royal family, Lady Diana Spencer seemed to embody the image of a modern-day princess. The life that awaited Diana was far from the fairy tale that people imagined. Her journey as the Princess of Wales was full of emotional turmoil, personal struggles, and public scrutiny, which overshadowed even her humanitarian efforts and the joy of motherhood. Diana entered her marriage with high hopes, but the reality of royal life hit hard. Almost immediately, she found herself struggling to adapt to the rigid structure of the royal family. But the heart of Diana's troubles was the distant and cold relationship with her new husband, Prince Charles. Though they appeared happy in public, behind closed doors, their marriage was something else. And you know the most painful part of it all? What do you think about Kai's luxurious lifestyle? Do you believe that her grandfather's re-election will expose her to even more luxury? Leave your opinions in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.